What's with the bow tie? Well,
It's a nice bow tie. It matches that really nicely.
Oh, I think it's pretty classy and snazzy.
I like it. I like how it matches his pocket square.
I was always a little bit of a nerd.
It matches his handkerchief very nicely.
I'd say it's pretty fresh. I like that a lot. Bow ties in general are pretty stylish.
It's not one color, it's got like the stripes going on and they're like really contrasty.
I always dressed differently, excepting more formal.
He knows how to dress himself. I don't know, I like how the sleeve is peeking.
He has a slight grin going on, which is pretty stylish.
I don't know why.
I don't know where exactly the bow ties began, but
I just know that amongst his peers, amongst those designers, they love bow ties.
I'll say he wears them well.
I like it. It's very nice.
I do not.
No idea.
I do not. He used to be the dean?
That's him. Jay Chatterjee.
Dean Jay Chatterjee. Oh, so that, okay.
Yeah, he was the dean of the college, and he was also a professor of planning.
My father is a very work-oriented person. He basically doesn't take time off. There's no downtime, there's no rest, but that's the way he prefers it. I think he retired 3 times, and he kept being called back, and I think he's officially retired now, so I hear.
Well, one of the things about Jay is he's really pretty humble and he has done a lot of work that has affected Cincinnati and many people in Cincinnati in ways that a lot of people don't know.
Very deep effect on the city of Cincinnati and the surrounding areas, even I'd say the region. Most people know the work that he does on the bringing signature architects to come in and build on the campus and in the city itself, but he's also instrumental in dozens of boards, whether they're historic preservation or they're civic development. I don't think a day goes by where he is not involved in some aspect of some board or some urban planning commission, both locally and nationally and internationally.
The Aronoff Center for Art and Design, which is the DAP, so-called DAP building. Growing up, when I was a kid, there were just 2 buildings there, Wolfson and Alms, and they were just standard mid-century modern buildings, very rectangular, box-like. The Eisenman building, which was built to wrap around it and follow the curvature of the hillside, to me was the most interesting of all of the buildings, because Eisenman's work, even before I had seen that building, to me was always about the future. I was a big science fiction fan and things like that, and I look at the Eisenman building, it looks futuristic to me.
Intellectually speaking, as well as emotionally speaking, and I may be biased because I was involved with it, I think this building is the most exciting building in my mind.
The architecture is very interesting.
It's very design forward.
I don't know if I like it or not.
Not my favorite style. Not really into it.
I think at times it can be really distracting.
It's confusing, but I get it.
The architecture, okay. I think it's not confusing.
It's a little confusing.
Not exactly laid out in the most, I guess, convenient manner.
I feel like it's a little convoluted in some places, especially when walking around.
It's like an optical illusion.
I guess the idea behind it was to make a confusing building so people are forced to interact with it. I think it's successful in that way.
I think it's confusing and it takes a while to get used to, but I think it makes a lot of people question the building, and that I like that everywhere there's cubbies and little holes in the wall and stuff like that. Adds character.
The only thing I would say is that all of the elevators go to none of the floors.
It's weird that You have to get up to some elevators to get to other elevators that take you higher.
I didn't know there were elevators. Where are they? Where are the elevators?
It's interesting, to say the least.
I'm not an architect, so.
But it's falling apart, so it's obviously not successful in other ways.
I like it. It's kind of like a maze. It makes you think about where you're going and where you'll end up. So it's more about the journey rather than the ending place.
I certainly feel in the areas such as this college, its accomplishment, this university, its physical environment, I feel I've been able to contribute heavily on those. Some of the organizations I've touched, I believe I have changed them. So there are many aspects of it that I'm very proud of.